A video on how to sidechain like Illenium. So his sidechaining is super intense, and I'm just gonna get right into it. This is a remix that I'm doing of the glitch mob, but I'm doing something very similar to the way Illenium styles pretty much all of his choruses. Just giant sawtooth synths and really spread out, but also so sidechained that everything is coming down when the kick happens. So I'll show you what it sounds like first, and then I'll get into it. I'll just go to the drop. Or actually, yeah, I'll go to the drop. Okay, so you can kind of hear how intense that sidechaining is. Basically, it's really easy with the way I'm organizing my sessions. So I have music basically the kick and music are always separated. It might be weird to some people, but this is how I'm doing it, and it's comfortable. It makes my brain, it's just easy on the eyes, especially when you have a lot of tracks. So it only works in Ableton 10 grouping groups, so get Ableton 10 if you don't have it. But basically, I group all my top end, and I group all my low end, and vocals in their own group, and then production is just like, it's high-end stuff, and occasionally impacts, but usually the impacts in production are melodic impacts. Yeah, like here's just some Foley kind of sounds, sweeps, sound effects mainly. Yeah, that little submarine sound. And then synths are and then vocals, drums. So no drums going on right there. I never put the kick in the drums thing. Yeah, you get it. For this one specifically, the bass, I'm pretty sure I put it in the synths section because this was just kind of a weird track for me to be doing, so I was getting creative with my workflow too. Not that that is a good thing, but basically show you what I use to make that very intense sidechaining. And I'll just solo the synths and the kick. Okay, so in synths, I have another group called drop synths, so it's all the chorus sounding synths. And this is what I found, especially, it really depends on the tempo of your track, but for this tempo, these are my attack and release settings, and the release is just how fast the synths come back after being pulled down. So you definitely want kind of a fast attack, and you want a little bit of a slower release than usual with a pretty big ratio. So I'm doing 3:1. Some people will do all the way at the top, which is kind of intense. I think that just crushes it too much. So 3:1 I've found is kind of the golden one for Illenium style sidechaining. And I'll show you what it sounds like when I turn the release all the way up. And there's a high synth in there. Yeah, so basically that high synth is just not really being pulled down by that horn. So you want the synths to come back in a little faster so people can feel it. Anyways, if you're doing track, you can totally just copy these settings. You can send me questions. Obviously, I just sidechained the basic compression to my kick, just down here. I have 2 kick tracks actually, and one of them is like when the drop comes in, it's got this kind of gritty tom, like big roto tom sound to it. This one. So, but it's over the top of this one. It's funny, I think Illenium does stuff like that too in his tracks. But basically, I made the main synths in Serum, and they're also very basic. I don't really think I did much to edit them except for, yeah, barely anything here. Yeah, this is when you open a new untouched default Serum patch, I think this is what it looks like. I honestly haven't had Serum for very long, so I'm not quite sure, but you can copy these settings if you like, but otherwise it's literally, there's nothing on it besides one oscillator, and it's just pretty spread out. I doubled it with a higher one. I think it's the same patch, higher octave with some reverb. Yeah, dimension, chorus, compression, reverb. That way, kind of gives that space vibe on top of the intensity of that. Anyways, thank you for watching, and message me if you have any questions. Stay tuned.